like as long as I have this thing completely apart, basically, and I've been wiping it down with brake cleaner to, you know, just get some of the grunge off it and stuff like that. You know, there's no oil bath in here. There's just sealed bearings, I guess. So that's kind of nice. But what I want to do is I really don't like this wire being up on top here like this. I'm just afraid that, you know, keep setting stuff down on top of there might crunch it, whatever. Plus two, it's a good place to set stuff down on, or it would seem. Anyway, you know, you got to modify everything, right? Make it yours. So what I'm thinking about doing is it's just, you know, it's just this wire, which can easily be run other areas. So I figured out where I want to put the cable through, okay? So I've already drilled it out to about 3/8. That's still not quite big enough. I decided, you know, before I make it just simply to fit this, I really should see if I have a strain relief, something to protect that edge there, okay? And I do, and that's just barely going to fit over there. So what I need to do is get it back off. I need to measure that and then drill the size according to the strain relief. And yeah, and then not get it stuck on there. So that ought to work. It's made for sheet metal, but if I drill it just right and get it wedged in there, I think it ought to work just fine. A little silicone, a little hot glue, something like that ought to hold it too if I have to, but I don't think I will. We'll see. I've got a lot of the cleaning done here, and one of the things that I need to do while I'm working on this is to get a chip guard over this ball screw, okay? And it just so happened that I had this little piece of metal angle, and it comes down here to about 2 inches, within 2 inches from the end here. The holes were already drilled in it from something else that was left over from, so it's perfect. Two of them actually lined right up. Get lucky every now and then. So what this is showing me is I looked up under here and there's a couple of screws. Now this one here doesn't stick down very far. The other one stuck down far enough that it may want to rub if I put the rest of the shield on top. Okay, so I found another screw for that, and now it's short enough. This is a little too old and brittle, but I was hoping this would kind of work. Basically, and I just use double-sided tape and put it on there. But by the time I get it out where I want it, it really doesn't leave a whole lot. And I don't really want to have to mess with getting another piece of aluminum. So I do like the downturn on here, though, to help protect it. So what I think I'm going to do is the motor comes to about here, okay, which means that I should be able to come all the way out. I should be able to come all the way out to, you know, there at least. So what I think is I'm going to just use some clear acrylic I have. I'll cut that out. I can leave it straight and I can bring it almost all the way up to this lip here. I also think that I can tape it to the underside, okay. I wouldn't have to worry about stuff being on the backside and everything. And the other reason too for doing it on the underside is so that I have screw clearance here. By the time I put the double-sided tape on and the plexiglass, I won't be able to get the screws in and out. So I'll put it on the bottom side. I think that'll clear just fine. And it'll also bring it down a little bit, and I can come right out, almost out to this end here. So probably about a 3-inch wide strip. And the cool thing is, too, is I'll be able to see the ball screw. Well, I figured out that I need about a 2.5-inch long strip, okay? Now, I don't have any clean bench space running around here right now, so I took the stuff off the back of the lathe bench here, and I happen to have a piece of melamine. It's basically masonite with vinyl or whiteboard or something on it. Not exactly sure. So I'm in the process of setting it up to cut the plexiglass. It's a leftover piece I used to have behind my big lathe. See, now that's a solid 2.5. This was light 2.5, so that's better. Okay. Now, when you're cutting plexiglass, acrylic like this, you can do it with a jigsaw. Might tend to crack. Especially this thin stuff like this. All it has to do is hook once. The reality is really all you're doing to cut this stuff is just scoring it. You're scraping the channel out, okay? You can use the back of an X-Acto knife, and that's what you want to hear, okay? If you don't have that, you can use the, utility knife. Basically sounds the same. I've also done it with round pointed scribes. And the one thing you just want to make sure you do is, don't wander all over the place. Okay, you want to keep it close to the ruler there, obviously. And I'm using an aluminum ruler, and I just shaved my ruler off a little bit there. I was hoping maybe you could see how it just scrapes. See, that's what you're doing. You're just pulling out chunks of plexiglass. Now, you can keep going and take it all the way through, basically, which is what I might do, or you could turn this around and snap it. But if you don't quite have it even all the way, it may not snap even. So, it might just be better and easier just to scribe it all the way down until it starts to come apart. Well, I moved everything around so it was hanging off this side. I was going to scribe it a couple more times, but once I got it clamped down, I pushed down a little bit and chink, it broke all the way across. Now, it didn't break quite accurately here. You can probably see that here. See, there's a dip right here. So, I probably had a misscribed line at this end, which looks to be the jagged edge where it broke. Oh well, such is life. I can finish scribing that down and break it off some more, I think, or just put it on the grinder and the belt sander and clean it up. Good chance I'm going to have to touch it up anyway, because I don't think there's any real way to get it to merge the brake very well. At either end. Well, I got really darn close. So I'm going to have a little, I got a little bump, at least one end there, so. Yeah, one little bump. Alright, let's see if we can get it cleaned up without breaking it. Now for cleaning it up, once I get it clean enough, I could sandpaper it. Okay. I can also just take the X-Acto blade and dragging it. I'm not trying to cut it, I'm dragging it backwards, more or less. Whoop. See, I just slipped off and put a big scratch there, but it does, gives me a nice, smooth, clean edge there, and I'm not looking for perfection. The big bump I took down a little bit with the belt sander, but you got to watch that a little bit because this stuff melts faster than it does anything else. So yeah, just messed that up again. Okay, there's that side. Now to get the other one so that I'm not dragging it like this and then sliding down, I'll flip it around and I'll do it from the other side once I get this whole side done. You may not be able to, but there's several scribe lines here. So this is the center where the ruler was lifting up. So every time it lift up, you know, that would change how it would guide my knife. So might want to be a bit more careful on that if it's an important piece. Let's try with this one. Now that's even easier because I got a stop I can go up against there. Unless I can always cut it down. What I think I'm going to do though is I think I'm going to extend it all the way to here. I'll have to put a little notch in the corner there because I want this to go all the way back. We're pretty close to it. Well, I've got a good foot of scrap out here on the end, so I figured I'll see how it cuts on the bandsaw. Now this is with the teeth down. Typically when you try to cut this stuff with a regular saw or whatever, you like put the blade in backwards and drag it through. That seems to work better. It doesn't catch and chip that way near as bad. So this is a really fine tooth blade. We'll see what happens. Pretty darn nice, actually. You get some yeah, that's actually a really nice edge. Now, there is, kind of hard to see, not sure if you can or not, but anyway, I've got a little 1/8 inch crack right here. Okay, so that could break loose later. I could bend it and it would snap on that line now. And it's on both sides. And I can actually even see it on the edge here too, so I know it's a crack and not just a scratch. But no big deal. I'm ready to put the adhesive on, and there's the partner. This is the thick stuff. I don't have the rest of the packaging, but it's automotive grade. This is and it's trim adhesive, trim tape or whatever. It's made to hold on the trim on your car, so most car part stores should have it. Anyway, this one's a little narrow. Rather than try to run another strip down there, I'm just going to go ahead and finish opening up the wide one, which is a little too wide. When it sticks to the gloves, it really sticks to the gloves, and it's easy enough with your fingers to pull it off, but not the other way. So let's stand this up like this. Okay, I already wiped it down with brake cleaner, and I also just did a single swipe of brake cleaner down the edge, just kind of get glued on the other. So we'll come to fairly close to the edge there. Quite as there we go. That's what I expected with the first part there, but no biggie. I'll just take the X-Acto knife, cut that off. Okay, I got a couple bubbles here. I'm just gonna give them a little poke there and see if I can work them out. Okay, that should be close enough. You make sure it gets stuck down good. And looks like I got a little over there, so okay, that'll certainly clear up. Okay, now basically I get to do the same thing to this edge. And I'm keeping the blade turned down slightly toward the rail, okay? Trying to keep enough rake on it there, and when I feel it bunch up, I do a little saw action there to get it to start slicing again. And at least that's the... Because then what it does is it creates kind of a scissor effect, pinching between the two as it goes. And of course this is the same blade I was scraping all that plexiglass with, so it's not like it's got a perfect edge on it or anything. There we go. Close enough. Okay. I'm running out of time for the day here. Okay. So, this gets mounted like that. And this piece goes here. Okay. So, let's take the... the worst thing about this stuff is getting the backing off. The adhesive is designed to not let go, and that includes the backing. Sausage fingers don't help. And in all fairness too to the tape, the ragged ass edge I cut there is part of the hindrance, because since you're cutting on the tape side, you're pushing it up against the adhesive really hard. If you peel it off and then peel it down without having to cut it like that, it comes off a whole lot nicer. So let's get it lined up. We know that we want it all the way against the back, about a 1/16 of an inch hanging out there. Very close. Very close. And with the plexiglass, you can see where it sticks down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that ain't going anywhere. 2 extra holes in here when I started, so okay, that's good. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that, that is awesome. Not gonna have any chips that heavy, huh? The cool part. You can see right through it. So, this is what I'm talking about. That's holding it up about even, so you can see there's a little bit of a gap there, but we've got plenty of overhang, so that ought to make it so much nicer. Oh, I'm happy about that.